I suspected my wife was planning a divorce, so I moved my assets quietly. When she filed, her lawyer looked stunned. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Revenge Forge for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I'm Marcus Allenby, 38, a senior financial planner at a wealth management firm in Portland, Oregon. My life was a clean ledger, stable, prosperous, damn near ideal. My wife, Leah, 31, was a wildfire, quick-witted, with a smile that could close a deal and a presence that lit up rooms. We met 6 years ago at a Seattle fintech conference. I was crunching numbers for high-net-worth clients. She was pitching marketing campaigns, her energy magnetic. By the end of the night, we were sharing craft beers at a waterfront bar, trading stories about market crashes and big dreams. 2 years later, we married on an Oregon coast cliff, her vows soft against the Pacific wind, promising a lifetime of trust. Our craftsman home in Portland's Laurelhurst neighborhood was our sanctuary. Hardwood floors, tall windows, a backyard where we'd grill steaks and plan our future. I earned $190,000 a year managing portfolios for a firm pulling in $80 million annually. Leah ran a boutique digital marketing agency, her flair landing clients from tech startups to local breweries. We were a unit, me the numbers behind the wealth, her the spark that sold it. Weekends were for hiking in Forest Park, hitting food carts downtown, or just us tangled in bed sketching plans for a beach house in Cannon Beach. But even the tightest books hide discrepancies. It started subtle, like a rounding error. 4 months ago, Leah's phone became her shadow. She'd tilt it away when texting, her fingers quick, her face guarded. Work stuff, she'd say, her smile too sharp. I'd nod, but doubt crept in, slow and cold. She started working late, her laptop glowing past midnight. Big campaign, she'd mutter, barely meeting my eyes. I wanted to believe her. I did. But trust erodes like sand under waves. Then came the distance. Leah stopped lingering over coffee, stopped asking about my day. Our date nights, once sacred, faded. She'd cancel, citing client dinners, her perfume lingering as she rushed out. I'd sit alone, the house too quiet, the steak I'd grilled for two growing cold. One night at 11 p.m. I saw her phone light up on the counter. A text from EW, tomorrow's set. Don't worry. My chest tightened. Who was EW? I didn't touch her phone yet. But the seed was planted. The first twist hit 3 weeks ago. Leah brought up finances over dinner, her tone casual but her eyes sharp. We should organize our accounts, Marcus, she said, slicing her salmon. You know, for emergencies. Emergencies. My fork paused. We'd merged our finances years ago, joint savings, investments, the house in both names. Why now? Sure, I said, keeping my voice even. I'll look into it. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. That night I couldn't sleep. Her words echoed, too deliberate, too planned. I didn't confront her. Instead, I called my old college buddy Nathan Brooks, a family law attorney in Eugene. Sounds like she's prepping for something, he said, his voice grim. Protect yourself, Marcus. Move your assets quietly. Set up a trust, maybe under your mom's name. If she's planning a divorce, you don't want to lose half. Divorce. The word landed like a stone. I didn't want to believe it, but Nathan's advice was steel. I had to act. The next day I met with a trust lawyer, a woman named Ellen Harper, discreet and sharp. We set up an irrevocable trust under my mother's name, Clara Allenby, transferring the house title, 75% of our savings, $320,000, and my investment accounts worth $450,000. The moves were legal, silent, untraceable to Leah. I felt like a traitor, but Nathan's words echoed, protect yourself. By the end of the week, my major assets were safe, the trust locked tight. The second twist came that weekend. Leah announced a team retreat in Seattle. Just a quick trip, she said, packing a suitcase, her movements rushed. I nodded, but my eyes caught her phone on the dresser. Another text from EW, can't wait. Rooms booked. My heart stopped. Room I didn't ask. I just watched her leave, her taillights fading into the Portland rain. That night I checked our joint credit card. Charges in Seattle, $2,100 for a hotel, dinners, a boutique. She hadn't mentioned shopping. My gut twisted, but I stayed calm. Evidence, not emotion, would win this. I dug deeper. Leah's laptop was password protected, but she'd used our anniversary date since we met. Sloppy. Her email was a minefield. Messages from Edgar Whitlow EW, casual at first, then intimate. Miss you already. One read sent last week while I was at a client meeting. Another we're set for next month. Trust me. My vision blurred, not from tears but from rage. Edgar Whitlow, my old mentor from the firm 42, the guy who'd taught me portfolio management, who'd toasted our wedding with a grin. My chest burned. This wasn't just a cheating story, it was a knife in my back. I didn't stop there. Her cloud backups held bank statements I didn't know existed. Leah had opened a secret account funneling $25,000 from her agency's consulting fees over 6 months. The payee shell company tied to Edgar's consulting side gig. She wasn't just cheating, she was building a war chest, using my trust as collateral. I saved everything, my hands steady, but my heart racing. The rain outside battered the windows, mirroring the storm in my head. I could have called Edgar. I could have confronted Leah when she returned, her hair damp, her smile practiced. But I didn't. Revenge isn't a scream, it's a strategy. I moved more assets, my retirement fund, $160,000 into the trust. I changed my bank passwords, removed Leah's access to our home security system. Every step was calculated, every move silent. Nathan coached me. Stay ahead, Marcus. Don't let her know you're onto her. The third twist hit the following Monday. Leah came home early, her face soft, her voice sweet. "Let's talk, Marcus," she said, setting 2 wine glasses on the counter. "I've been distant. I'm sorry, work's been crazy, but I want us to be okay." My pulse spiked. Was this genuine or a play I played along, sipping the Merlot, watching her eyes? "What's on your mind?" I asked. She leaned in her hand on mine. "I just want us to plan better. You know, for the future. Maybe separate some accounts just in case." There it was again, separating accounts. My stomach churned, but I nodded. "Sounds smart," I said, my voice calm. Inside I was steel. That night I checked her phone while she showered. Unlocked, careless. Texts from Edgar pushed the finance talk. "He'll cave." My blood froze. She wasn't apologizing, she was probing, testing my defenses. I screenshotted everything, my hands steady. This wasn't love. This was a game, and I was done losing. The fourth twist came at a dinner party we hosted. Leah insisted on inviting friends, claiming it'd reconnect us. I agreed, watching her play the perfect wife, laughing, refilling glasses. Edgar was there, his handshake firm, his smile smug. He clapped my shoulder, joking about market trends, but his eyes lingered on Leah. Her sister Claire was there too, quieter than usual, her glances darting between us. The air felt heavy, like a storm brewing. I smiled, poured whiskey, and waited. Then I saw it. Leah's phone, left on the kitchen counter during dessert, lit up. A text from Edgar. "After this, we're clear. File soon. File." My heart pounded, but I didn't react. I slipped the phone back, my face a mask. Later, as guests left, Claire pulled me aside, her voice low. "Marcus, something's off with Leah. She's been secretive. I don't know what's up, but be careful." I nodded, my jaw tight. Claire's warning wasn't proof, but it was a crack in Leah's facade. I didn't sleep. At 2 a.m. I logged into our joint investment account. Leah had tried to access it, her login attempts flagged. She was moving faster than I'd thought. I called Nathan at dawn. "She's planning to file," I said, forwarding the screenshots. "Edgar's coaching her." Nathan didn't hesitate. "We're ready," he said. "Keep gathering evidence. When she files, we'll hit back." The fifth twist came a week later. Leah sat me down, her face calm, her voice steady. "Marcus, I think we need a break," she said, her eyes dry. "I've been unhappy. I want a divorce." The word landed, but I was numb. I'd seen it coming, but hearing it still cut deep. "Why?" I asked, my tone even. She sighed, her hands folded. "We've grown apart. I need space to find myself." Space. I saw Edgar's texts, her secret account, her lies. This wasn't about space, it was about strategy. I didn't argue. "Okay," I said, standing. "Let's do this cleanly." Her eyes flickered, surprised by my calm. She didn't know I'd moved the house, the savings, everything. She thought she had me cornered. That night I got a call from Nathan. "Her lawyer just reached out," he said. "They're demanding half of everything, house accounts, investments. They don't know about the trust." I smirked, the first real smile in weeks. "Let them try," I said. The sixth twist hit when I dug into Edgar's role. Using my firm's database, I found his consulting LLC tied to Leah's secret account. But there was more, a second shell company funneling $50,000 to an account in Edgar's name. He wasn't just her lover, he was her partner, guiding her to bleed me dry. I saved the records, my resolve hardening. This wasn't just a divorce, it was a heist, and Edgar was the mastermind. I met Nathan at his office laying out the evidence, texts, bank records, login attempts. "We've got her," he said, his pen flying. "When we show the trust, her claims collapse. Edgar's exposed too." I nodded, but my mind was on Leah. Why we'd had everything, love plans, a future. Had I missed something buried in work that pushed her to this? I pushed the thought aside. Her choices weren't my fault. The seventh twist came unexpectedly. Claire texted me her message, urgent, Marcus, Leah's freaking out. Her lawyer's telling her something's wrong with the assets. She thinks you're hiding something. I didn't reply, but my pulse quickened. Leah was rattled, her plan unraveling. Claire added, "She's been talking to Edgar nonstop. He's pushing her to settle fast." Good, let them panic. I was steps ahead, my assets safe, my evidence ironclad. I didn't confront Leah. I stayed silent, letting her stew. Her texts grew desperate. "Marcus, we need to talk. Why is everything locked?" I ignored them. I wasn't ready to show my hand, not yet. This wasn't just a Reddit story. It was my life, and I was taking it back. The Portland rain drummed against my office window as I sat at my desk, Claire's text burning in my mind. Leah's panic, her lawyer's confusion, Edgar Whitlow's pressure, it was all unraveling. My wife wasn't just planning a divorce, she was orchestrating a financial ambush coached by the man who'd mentored me. The trust I'd set up, shielding $320,000 in savings, $450,000 in investments, and our Laurelhurst home was my fortress. But I wasn't safe yet. Leah and Edgar thought they could outmaneuver me, and I needed to know how deep their scheme ran, Claire, Edgar, Leah, and anyone else pulling strings. I called Tara Jensen, a private investigator I'd hired after Nathan's advice, at 7 a.m. Her voice was sharp. "No nonsense." "Claire's tipped you off," I said, keeping my tone low. "Leah's spooked and Edgar's pushing her to settle. I need their next move, Edgar's leverage, any other players." "On it, Marcus," Tara said. "Give me 24 hours. While Tara dug, I reached out to Jenna Walsh, a former colleague who'd left our firm 2 years ago, after clashing with Edgar over client allocations. Jenna, 36, was a numbers wizard with a grudge against liars. We met at a coffee shop in Northwest Portland, the smell of espresso and damp coats thick. I handed her a flash drive with Tara's initial findings texts between Leah and Edgar, bank records of Leah's secret $25,000 account, the shell company tied to Edgar's LLC. "They're not just planning a divorce," I said. "They're trying to gut me financially. I need to know how." Jenna's eyes narrowed as she scanned the files. "Edgar's always been a snake," she said, her voice low. "He pushed me out when I flagged his shady consulting gigs. But Leah, she's playing dirty." "There's more," I said. "They're using my firm's resources. I found $50,000 funneled to Edgar's account. I think they're building a bigger play." Jenna sipped her coffee, her gaze hard. "I've got a contact in your firm's audit team. Let me poke around." By noon, Jenna texted back, Edgar wasn't just Leah's lover. He was brokering a deal to sell my proprietary financial planning model, years of my work, to a rival firm in Seattle, Cascade Wealth, for $2.5 million. The pitch was set for tomorrow at a downtown hotel. But Jenna's contact dropped a bombshell: Edgar had a side hustle. If Cascade passed, he was shopping the model to a private equity group in Boise for $2 million, no questions asked. Leah was in the dark about the Boise deal. Edgar was playing her too. I dove into Edgar's digital trail using my firm's database access. His security was weak, same password he'd used when I was his mentee. I found emails with a name I didn't expect: Diane Kessler, 40, our firm's compliance officer. She'd always been meticulous, all rules and no warmth, but her messages to Edgar were cold and calculated. "Keep Allenby clueless. Cascade's the target, but Boise's our backup. Leah's too soft, she'll fold." Edgar's reply: "Got it, Diane. She's on a string." Diane. The compliance officer, neck deep in the plot. My pulse hammered. This wasn't just a divorce or an affair, it was a corporate heist. I forwarded the emails to Jenna, who swore over the phone. "Diane's been dodging audits forever," she said. "She's got her hands in every compliance report. This is her exit strategy." "What's her endgame?" I asked, pacing my office, the rain a steady hum outside. "Cash," Jenna said. "She's got a side business, real estate flips gone bad. Selling your model clears her debts and sets her up." I needed more. I called Tara. Look into Diane Kessler, compliance officer. She's working with Edgar and Leah. Tara whistled. This is a swamp, Marcus. I'll need time. Make it quick, I said. They're pitching tomorrow. That night, Leah's text turned frantic. Marcus, why is everything locked? We need to talk. I didn't reply. She called 4 times, then 6. I let it go to voicemail. Back at our Laurelhurst home, she'd find the locks changed a precaution Nathan had insisted on. She was cornered, but I wasn't ready to face her. Not until I had every piece of their plan. I didn't sleep. I worked tightening my monitoring tools. Every email, every transaction Leah and Edgar made I saw. By 3 a.m., I had their pitch deck, my financial model dressed up with Leah's branding and Edgar's spin. They'd even named it Whitlow Wealth Blueprint. My work, their theft. Then Tara called, her voice tense. Got something on Diane. She's not just in on it. She's been skimming from the firm for years. $600,000 funneled to a shell account in Panama. Edgar's her front, but Leah's clueless about the scale. I gripped my desk, the rain a steady hum outside. What about Claire? She's deeper than you thought, Tara said. She's been feeding Diane intel on your accounts. Emails show she's getting a 4% cut of the Boise deal. But here's the twist, she's also been talking to a lawyer planning to leak the deal to regulators if Edgar and Leah don't pay her more. Claire not just a concerned sister-in-law, but a schemer. My stomach churned, but I pushed it down. Send me everything, I said. Tara did, and there it was, Claire's emails to a lawyer outlining a plan to expose the deal for a bigger payout. She wasn't loyal to Leah, she was playing them all. I met Jenna at her apartment, a cozy spot with skyline views and a humming espresso machine. Claire's planning to double-cross them, I said, showing her the emails. She's working with Diane, but she's got her own exit. Jenna's jaw tightened. Your sister-in-law's a shark. What's the plan? We don't shut down the system, I said. We expose them at Cascade's meeting. All of them. The next morning I drove to Seattle, Jenna riding shotgun. Leah stayed in Portland, likely scrambling to fix her frozen accounts. She thought I was at the office buried in client portfolios. The hotel, a sleek tower overlooking Puget Sound, was all glass and power plays, the kind of place Leah thrived in. She'd arrived in Seattle, her navy dress catching every glance, her smile a weapon. Edgar stood beside her, his suit crisp, his grin smug. Diane was there too, her presence understated but commanding, her eyes scanning the room. The Cascade execs, 3 suits with sharp stares, sat at a polished table sipping coffee. I slipped in, Jenna blending into the crowd of advisors. We'd hacked the guest list, posing as consultants. Leah's pitch was seamless. Our blueprint redefines wealth planning. Secure, scalable hours. Edgar chimed in, all charm. With your partnership, we'll own the Northwest. My blueprint. They're lies. I stood, my voice cutting through the hum. Before you sign, you should know the truth. Leah's eyes locked on mine, her face paling. Edgar's smile faltered. Diane's hand froze on her tablet. Marcus, Leah said, her voice tight. This isn't the place. It's exactly the place, I said, plugging my laptop into the projector. The screen lit up, emails between Leah, Edgar, and Diane plotting to sell my model. Bank records of Diane's $600,000 theft. Claire's texts tying her to the scheme. And a wire transfer Claire to Diane, $8,000 labeled consulting fee. The room went silent. One of the Cascade execs, a woman with a sleek bob, leaned forward. Explain this, Miss Allenby. Leah stammered, her charm crumbling. It's a misunderstanding. Marcus is upset, personal issues. No, I said, my voice steel. You stole my work. Diane's been skimming $600,000. Edgar's your front man. And Claire, she's planning to leak this deal to regulators for a bigger cut. Edgar tried to interrupt. This is nonsense. Nonsense! I cut in, clicking to the next slide. Claire's lawyer emails Diane's Panama account. You built your pitch on my blueprint. You're done. The bobbed exec stood, her face hard. We don't deal with frauds. She nodded to her team and they walked out, their coffee untouched. Leah's eyes filled with tears, but I felt nothing. Edgar grabbed his jacket, muttering excuses. Diane slipped out, her composure cracking. I didn't stay to gloat. I walked out, Jenna behind me, the Seattle rain cool on my skin. But there was one more twist. As I reached my car, Claire was waiting, her face pale, her hands shaking. Marcus, we need to talk. You're out of moves, I said, my voice cold. It's not what you think, she said, her voice breaking. Diane forced me. She's got dirt on me, bad loans, a failed startup. I didn't want to hurt you. I stared at her, the sister-in-law who'd warned me, the woman who'd sold me out. You chose this, I said. Own it. She reached for me, but I stepped back. Marcus, please. Stay away, I said, getting into my car. As I drove off, my phone buzzed. Tara, Diane's making a move. She's meeting the Boise buyer tomorrow. Leah's out, but Claire's going with her. The game wasn't over. They weren't done. Neither was I. Back in Portland, I found a note slipped under my office door unsigned, handwritten, check her email drafts. She's not done. My pulse spiked. I logged into Leah's email again using her predictable password. In her drafts folder, I found a message to her lawyer, unsent push for a quick settlement. Marcus doesn't know about the offshore account. Edgar says we can still win. Offshore account. My stomach churned. I dug deeper, finding a hidden folder in her cloud bank statements for an account in the Bahamas, $60,000 funded by consulting fees from Edgar's second shell company. Leah wasn't just planning a divorce, she was stashing money, betting on a big payout. I called Nathan. Leah's got an offshore account, I said, forwarding the statements. $60,000 tied to Edgar. What can we do? Nathan's voice was grim. We freeze it. I'll file an emergency motion to lock her assets. We'll hit them hard. I nodded, my resolve hardening. This wasn't just about love anymore, it was about justice. The next day, I met Jenna at a brew pub in southeast Portland, the smell of hops grounding me. Leah's been hiding money offshore, I said, showing her the statements. Edgar's her funnel, but Diane's the mastermind. Jenna's eyes widened. This is bigger than a divorce, she said. Diane's been using Leah to launder firm funds. Your blueprint was the bait to draw in buyers. I leaned back, the brewpub's hum fading. What's Leah's endgame, I asked. She thinks she's getting out, Jenna said. Edgar's promised her a cut, probably a lie. Diane's using them both to cover her tracks. I didn't trust Leah's tears, but I needed her next move. I called Tara. Track Leah's travel, I said. She's not in Portland. Find her. Tara was on it, but she had another bombshell. Edgar's been meeting with a lawyer too, she said. He's planning to cut Leah out of the Boise deal. He's got a new partner, someone outside the firm, who I asked, my voice tight. Not sure yet, Tara said. But they're moving fast. I spent the afternoon fortifying my position. Nathan filed the motion locking Leah's offshore account. I changed every password again, even for my personal investments. I wasn't just protecting my money, I was protecting my future. That night, I got a call from Leah's brother Owen, a gruff contractor who'd never warmed to me. What the hell, Marcus, he said, his voice heated. Leah's a mess. You froze her accounts, her cards. What's your problem? She's been stealing from me, I said, my tone cold. $60,000, Owen. She's been lying to you too. He went quiet, then cursed. I didn't know, he said. She said it was just stress. I'll talk to her. I didn't trust him, but his shock sounded real. Maybe Leah had played her family too. The next twist hit like a thunderclap. Tara texted me a photo, Leah in Seattle checking into a hotel with a man I didn't recognize. Not Edgar, older, polished, with a silver watch glinting on his wrist. Who's this? I texted back. Tara's reply was swift. Victor Holt. Private equity guy, big player in Boise. He's the new partner in Edgar's side deal. My blood ran cold. Leah wasn't just a pawn, she was playing her own game, hedging her bets with a new player. I called Jenna. Leah's with Victor Holt, I said. He's Edgar's new partner. She's double-crossing him. Jenna whistled. She's walking a tightrope, she said. Holt's got a reputation, cutthroat, connected. If Edgar finds out, she's screwed. I didn't care about Leah's safety, but I needed Holt's role. I spent the night digging, using my firm's database to cross-reference Holt's transactions. He'd been funneling money to Diane's shell account, $150,000 over 4 months. The web was bigger than I'd thought. Diane wasn't just skimming, she was laundering with Holt as her silent partner. The next morning, I got a call from Claire. Her voice panicked. Marcus, Leah's in trouble. She called me last night crying. Said she's in too deep with some guy, Victor, I think. She's scared. I stayed silent, letting her ramble. She didn't say much, just that she needs cash. I told her to come home, but she hung up. I didn't feel sympathy, just clarity. Thanks, Claire, I said, hanging up. Leah's fear was her own making. I met Nathan at his office, laying out the new evidence, Holt's payments, Leah's hotel check-in, Claire's call. We've got enough for a fraud suit, he said. Against Diane, Edgar, maybe Holt. But Leah, she's slippery. We need her to crack. I nodded, my plan forming. Then we bait her, I said. Let her think I'm softening, she'll slip. That afternoon, I texted Leah, let's talk. No games. Come home. She didn't reply, but Tara tracked her phone to a Seattle airport boarding a flight to Boise. She was running to Holt thinking he was her escape. I wasn't chasing her, not yet. I needed her to feel safe to make her next mistake. The final twist of the day came from an anonymous email with a single attachment, a voice recording. I played it, my pulse spiking. It was Leah talking to Holt in a hotel room. Edgar's out, she said, her voice low. He's too greedy. You and I can take the Boise deal, split it 50-50. Holt's voice was smooth cold. And your husband, he's digging. Leah laughed, a sound that cut deep. Marcus. He's all spreadsheets, no fight. He'll roll over. The recording cut off, leaving me in silence. I saved the file, my hands steady. Leah thought I'd roll over. She was wrong. This wasn't just a divorce plot, it was a war, and I was armed. The Portland skyline shimmered under a rare clear sky as I sat in my office, the anonymous recording of Leah and Victor Holt echoing in my head. My wife wasn't just plotting a divorce with Edgar Whitlow. She was double-crossing him, with Holt scheming to steal my financial planning model and leave me with nothing. Diane Kessler, Claire Edgar, Leah Holt, they'd built a labyrinth of deceit to strip me of my work, my trust, my life. But I wasn't lost. I was Marcus Allenby, and I'd turned their lies into a ledger that balanced in my favor. Tara's text about Diane's meeting with the Boise buyer with Claire in tow was a flare in the dark. They thought they could slip away, but I was tightening the net. I called Tara at 6 a.m., her voice steady despite the hour. Diane's meeting the Boise buyer tonight, I said. Some outfit called Summit Equity. Claire's with her. I need the where, the when, and their pitch. On it, Tara said. Summit's known for snapping up stolen IP. I'll have something by noon. While she worked, I met Jenna at a cafe in Pearl District, the smell of fresh pastries and coffee grounding me. I showed her Tara's latest file, Diane's Panama account, Claire's double-cross plan, the Boise deal. They've cut Leah out, I said. Diane's calling the shots now. Jenna's eyes narrowed, her mug pausing mid-sip. Leah's out, that's brutal. What's the play? We don't lock the system, I said, my voice firm. We expose them to Summit. If they lose this, they're finished. Jenna grinned fierce. You're a steel trap, Marcus. I'm in. Tara came through by 11 a.m., texting a location, a private lounge in Boise's downtown, 7 p.m. Diane and Claire were pitching my financial model as their own, promising Summit a clean product for $2 million. But Tara had more. Diane's desperate, she said over the phone. She's been dodging creditors. That $600,000 she skimmed half, went to settle her real estate debts, the rest to Summit as a deposit. If this deal fails, she's ruined. And Claire, I asked, my jaw tight. She's drowning, Tara said. Diane's got her on a leash, threatened to expose her bad loans if she doesn't play ball. But she's still scheming. She's got a burner phone texting a whistleblower about the deal. Claire always plotting her escape. I didn't feel sympathy, just resolve. I called Owen Carter, a former IT specialist at our firm, pushed out by Diane for flagging compliance issues. Owen, 37, was tech-savvy with a chip on his shoulder. We met at his apartment, a cluttered space with monitors and energy drinks. I showed him the evidence, Diane's accounts, Claire's texts, the Boise pitch. I need you to help me end this, I said. Owen's eyes glinted. Diane tanked my career. I'm all in. We moved fast. Owen hacked into Diane's cloud drive, pulling the final pitch deck, my financial model rebranded with Claire's name slapped on it. Jenna secured us access to the lounge, leveraging a contact from her freelance days. By 5 p.m., we were on a flight to Boise, the Idaho skyline glowing below. I wore a suit, my laptop tucked under my arm. Jenna and Owen flanked me. Our faces set the mountain air sharp as we landed. The Boise lounge was all sleek wood and city lights, a haven for dealmakers. Diane was there, her blazer crisp, her smile calculated. Claire stood beside her, her eyes darting, her posture tense. The Summit execs, 2 men in tailored suits, their gazes predatory, sat at a corner table sipping whiskey. Leah was gone, erased like a bad trade. Diane's pitch was polished, her voice steady. Our blueprint is unmatched, secure, scalable, ready for market. Claire nodded, playing the loyal partner, her grin forced. They showcased my model, my late nights, my work dressed up as their victory. I stood, my voice slicing through the buzz. Before you buy, gentlemen, you should know the truth. Diane's eyes locked on mine, her face paling. Claire froze, her glass trembling. The summit execs raised their eyebrows, intrigued. Marcus, Diane said, her voice tight but calm. This is a private meeting. Not anymore, I said, plugging my laptop into the projector. The screen lit up emails between Diane and Claire plotting to sell my model. Bank records of Diane's $600,000 theft. Claire's burner phone texts planning her whistleblower leak. And my project log's timestamp proving every concept was mine. The room went quiet, the air heavy. One of the summit execs, a man with a salt and pepper beard, leaned forward. This true, Miss Kessler. Diane stammered, her poise cracking. It's a misunderstanding. Marcus is disgruntled, personal issues. No, I said, my voice steel. You stole my work. Skimmed $600,000 from our firm. Claire's playing you, planning to leak this deal to regulators for a bigger cut. Claire's face went white. Marcus, you're wrong. Am I cut in, clicking to the next slide, her whistleblower texts clear as day. The summit execs exchanged glances, their faces hardening. Diane tried to salvage it, her voice rising. This is a setup. Marcus is sabotaging us. Sabotaging, I snapped, my tone cold. You built your pitch on my model. You're done. The bearded exec stood, his voice low. We don't deal with liars. He nodded to his partner, and they walked out, their whiskey untouched. Diane's shoulders slumped, her empire crumbling. Claire grabbed her purse, muttering, You'll regret this, Marcus. But her voice was weak, defeated. I didn't linger. I walked out, Jenna and Owen behind me, the Boise night crisp and biting. Back in Portland, I found Leah's closet half empty, her jewelry gone. A note on the kitchen island. I'm sorry, Marcus. I didn't know how to stop. I tore it up, the pieces falling like ash. But there was one more twist. The next morning, Tara called. Diane's running, she said. She's liquidating firm assets, trying to vanish. But Claire, she's flipped. She's talking to the board, offering to testify against Diane for immunity. I leaned back, the Portland skyline steady outside. Claire, always the survivor, throwing Diane under the bus to save herself. I didn't call her. I didn't need her version of the truth. Instead, I met Jenna and Owen at the cafe, the smell of espresso grounding me. Diane's done, I said, showing them Tara's latest file. She's selling off firm assets to cover her tracks. Jenna grinned fierce. Then we bury her for good. We didn't freeze the system. We went public. Owen leaked our evidence to the board, the press even dropping snippets on Reddit stories where finance pros tore into Diane's scheme. The story exploded, trending as a cautionary tale of corporate greed undone. Diane was fired by noon, her reputation shredded. Claire disappeared, likely dodging her debts. Edgar surfaced in Seattle, working a low-level sales job, his charm no match for his ruined name. But Leah was still out there with Victor Holt. Tara tracked her to Boise, holed up in a condo owned by Holt's private equity firm. I didn't chase her, not yet. I needed Holt's endgame. I called Nathan, my lawyer. Holt's the key, I said. He's been funding Diane, playing Leah and Edgar. We need to take him down. Nathan was already drafting a fraud suit, his voice steady. We've got enough, he said. Emails, bank records, the recording. We'll hit them all. The next twist came from an unexpected source. I got a call from Leah's brother, Owen. His voice was rough, apologetic. Marcus, I didn't know how bad this was, he said. Leah called me last night, terrified. Said some guy, Holt, is pushing her to sign over your model. She wants out, but she's stuck. I stayed silent, processing. What's she asking for? I said finally. Owen sighed. Help. She knows she messed up. She's ready to talk to make this right. I didn't trust Leah, not after her lies, but I saw an opening. Tell her to meet me, I said. Tomorrow, Portland. Neutral ground. Owen agreed, his relief clear. I hung up, my plan forming. If Leah was willing to talk, I could use her to bury Holt and Edgar for good. The meeting was set for a brewery in southeast Portland, a place we'd loved in better days. I arrived early, my laptop ready, Tara's latest file on Holt burning a hole in my pocket. Leah walked in at 11 a.m., her face pale, her eyes tired. She looked smaller, stripped of her usual fire. She sat across from me, her hands trembling around a pint glass. Marcus, she said, her voice soft. I'm sorry. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need your help. Help, I said, my tone cold. You stole $60,000, Leah. You sold my work, lied to my face, and ran to Holt. Why should I trust you? Her eyes welled, but she didn't look away. Because I'm done lying, she said. Holt's dangerous. He's got me cornered, threatened to ruin me if I don't deliver your model. I didn't know it would go this far. She slid a flash drive across the table. Everything I have on him. Emails, contracts, bank transfers. It's yours. I didn't touch the drive, not yet. Why now? I asked. She swallowed, her voice breaking. Because I saw you in Seattle at the Cascade meeting. You didn't just fight, you won. I realized I backed the wrong side. Her words landed, but they didn't move me. I saw the woman I'd loved, but I also saw the liar who'd called me weak. I'll take it, I said, pocketing the drive. But this doesn't fix us. You're on your own. She nodded, tears spilling. I know, she whispered. Just watch out. Holt's not like Edgar. He doesn't lose. I stood, leaving her there, the brewery's hum swallowing her sobs. Back at my office, I plugged in the drive. Leah wasn't bluffing. Holt's fingerprints were everywhere. Emails tying him to Diane's laundering scheme, contracts for the Boise deal, even a memo outlining plans to discredit me if I fought back. It was enough to bury him. I forwarded everything to Nathan, who whistled over the phone. This is our kill shot, he said. We'll file tomorrow. Holt's done. But the game wasn't over. Tara called, her voice tense. Holt's moving, she said. He's meeting Edgar tonight, trying to salvage the Boise deal. Leah's out there cutting her loose. She sent me the emails, Holt and Edgar plotting to relaunch the deal through a new shell company. Allenby's a problem, Holt said in a text. We leak his client losses, real or not. He'll fold. Edgar agreed, nervous. What about Leah? Holt's reply was ice. She's a loose end. Done. I didn't go to Boise. Instead, I sent Owen wired with a hidden recorder and coached to stay low. He'd done corporate surveillance gigs. He knew how to blend in. By 1 a.m., he sent me the audio. Holt and Edgar scheming to secure the summit buyers. We need to move fast, Holt said. Allenby's got friends now. We can't. He's smart. Edgar sounded uneasy. Leah's talking. She's got dirt on us. Holt laughed cold. She's got nothing. We'll bury her too. The recording was my ace. I sent it to Nathan, who added it to the fraud suit. The next morning, we filed against Holt, Edgar, and Diane, citing theft, fraud, and conspiracy. The evidence, Leah's drive, Owen's recording, Tara's files, was airtight. By afternoon, the story hit the news. Wealth firm rocked by fraud allegations with Holt and Diane's names front and center. Edgar wasn't named, but his career was toast. Social media lit up, finance pros on Reddit stories calling it a masterclass in betrayal. I stayed out of it, letting the truth do the work. Leah's role stayed quiet, per my request. I didn't want her dragged publicly, not out of kindness, but strategy. She'd given me Holt's head. That was enough. Tara tracked her to a small apartment in Eugene, living under her maiden name, working a low-level marketing gig. Her spark was gone, her dreams of wealth with Holt or Edgar shattered. I didn't contact her. I didn't need to. The firm survived. Jenna and I rebuilt, bringing Owen on as our new tech lead. We launched a new financial model, my work at its core, no backdoors needed. My salary stayed at $190,000, but the firm's revenue climbed to $90 million, my legacy secure. But the final twist came months later. I was at a food cart pod in Portland meeting a client when Leah walked by. She froze, seeing me, her face gaunt, her eyes tired. She was alone, her coat plain, her posture defeated. For a second, I saw the woman I'd married, the one who danced with me on the Oregon coast. Then I saw Edgar's texts, Diane's emails, Holt's voice calling her a loose end. The moment passed. She approached, her voice soft. Marcus, can we talk? I didn't move. You've said enough, I said, my tone cold. I know about Eugene, the apartment, the lies you spun. Her eyes widened, but she didn't deny it. I'm sorry, she said, tears welling. I got lost, Marcus, Edgar, Holt. They made me feel powerful. But I know I hurt you. Can we try again for us? I looked at her, the woman I'd loved, and felt nothing. There is no us, I said. You chose them. You chose greed. Go back to Eugene, Leah. Start over. But not with me. I walked away, leaving her standing there, the food cart pod's hum swallowing her pleas. The divorce was swift. Nathan filed citing Leah's infidelity and financial misconduct. The evidence was overwhelming. Leah didn't fight hard. I kept the house, my accounts, my life. Leah got nothing but her freedom. Holt and Diane faced federal probes, their empires crumbling. Edgar faded into obscurity, a cautionary tale in finance circles. I rebuilt stronger. I bought that beach house in Cannon Beach not for Leah, but for me. I started coaching young planners at the firm, sharing what I'd learned. I even took up kayaking, gliding through the Columbia River, the water steady under me. The scars remained, but they didn't define me. Months later, I stood in my backyard, the Portland skyline glowing under a clear dusk. My phone buzzed, a client praising our new model. I smiled, not for the money, but for the man I'd become. Leah's betrayal, Claire's scheming, Diane's greed, Holt's ruthlessness. They'd tried to break me, but I'd balanced the ledger. So what would you have done? Exposed them like I did, or walked away letting their lies fester? Sometimes I wonder if I should have let Leah go sooner, spared my heart the scars. Or did I build something greater by fighting back? What do you think? You're here because this story meant something. Don't scroll away without leaving a like, a thought, and your subscription. Revenge Forge is where real stories find their voice and yours.